So this is session one of an experiment I'm going to try for the next 3 months when I either go to the range and hit some balls or chip and putt, or even before a round if I hit some warm-up balls or practice my chipping and putting. I'm going to only use 3 clubs, which I think are, well, at least 2 of them are definitely your scoring clubs, which would be the putter and then my 56-degree sand wedge. And then the third club, which I think you can argue it also being a scoring club, is the driver. So that's it for 3 months as far as practicing or warm-up. Driver, 56-degree, and putter. Because I've noticed since moving from Texas to Indiana that in Texas I could use my driver quite a bit. The rough wasn't as penalizing, being a little drier typically. And I could get away with drives off the fairway. Whereas in Indiana, when I came up here, the rough was a lot thicker, a lot more penalizing, even just right off the fairway. So, and a lot hillier, a lot of blind shots, blind tee shots. So I really have kind of transitioned to teeing off mostly or a lot with my 3-wood and then even a little bit with my 5-wood, which is great for accuracy, but it's hard to overcome the distance aspect if you're playing well and hitting your driver well. So what I'm starting with this session is just a bucket of balls and alternating between my 56-degree and driver. About 5 or 10 shots with each, going back and forth, and just go through the entire bucket, hitting those 2 clubs only. So part of my thinking is with the wedge, my sand wedge, it's basically the same swing as my 50-degree and my pitching wedge, and maybe even my 9-iron. So I'm getting, basically the same type of practice as I would using all 4 of those clubs. And then with the driver, same thing with my 3-wood and 5-wood. I'm basically hitting all 3 of those clubs with the same swing, more or less. And with my swing, since I have a shallow swing, I could even argue that my 4-iron is a very similar swing to my driver. So that takes care of those 4 clubs. So that only leaves really the middle irons that I'm not, I'm going to be maybe losing a little bit with those in the next couple months. But we'll see. This may completely backfire. But hopefully not. So now I'm back, finished up at the range and over at the chipping green. And just taking 3 balls, finding a hole, randomly, and then chipping. I think this was about maybe 5 to 8 yards right off the green, just what you would see in a round, a common chip and putt. And come up with a scoring system. I think I'm just going to do 5 points for a chip in, 3 points for an up and down, and then 0 for everything else, and just try to get the highest score possible. Do this 15 or 20 minutes, pick different holes, different lies, different breaks on the green, short side yourself, have chips where you have a little bit longer or more green to work with. And these 3 chips I hit fairly well. It wasn't too difficult of a chip, but wanted to start with something pretty straightforward. I think these first two putts were about a foot from the hole, and the third putt was 2.5, maybe 3 feet. So I get all those in. So 9 points would be the score, and then, obviously as I keep doing it, I would try to, I guess it would take a chip in, obviously, to improve on that. So that's almost a perfect score. And then for putting, I got this drill from a golfing buddy of mine who says it's been really helping him. And it's basically a gate set up with 2 tees about the width of a putter head apart. And the tees, I set those up about 2 feet from the hole, and then the putting from about 3 feet from the tee, so about a 5-foot putt, more or less. And as you can see, these first few, I'm hitting that right tee, which has been my miss putting. The last several rounds, I've noticed most of my misses have been off to the right. So I'm hoping this will improve that miss. And of course, do this. This is a pretty straightforward putt, but 15 or 20 minutes, move around the green, find different breaks, different lengths, and just get comfortable with reading that line and putting a good stroke on the ball. And I think putting basically comes down to practice. Anybody, I think, can be a decent putter, but it isn't the most fun part of golf to practice, and I know I don't practice nearly enough. So this gives you a better look down the line of what it looks like. And it really does, it brings out the faults for sure, as you can see here. But I've never really had a consistent practice routine, putting or short game. I would do it every now and then, but mostly it would be, hit a bucket of balls or 2, and that would be it. So there you go. We'll see how it works out. I'll do little short updates every time I do one of these sessions, and then try to keep up with my scores. Right now, my handicap got as low as just under 6, I think 5.8 several months ago, and now it's up to almost 7. So I'm hoping this will help get me back down. So I'll let you know how it goes, and we'll see you on the next one.